Before you even throw the punches, your stance must be right as far as your pivot. Start off with your pivot, get on your pivot, and it's light. The jab goes like this. This is exactly how the jab go. Jab. Out we go.
Counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather just showed up at Terence Crawford's training camp. And things got interesting. The undefeated legend didn't just watch. He told Crawford exactly how to beat Canelo Alvarez. Mayweather, who already embarrassed Canelo back in 2013, warned Crawford to use fast hands, tight defense, and smart counters to expose Canelo's flaws. Some fans are now saying Mayweather is trying to pass the torch, or maybe settle an old score with Canelo through Crawford. Either way, Floyd's advice could be the secret weapon Crawford needs to take down the so-called face of boxing.
You bring the hook with it. You can go to the body. Jab. Just double jab. Triple jab.
Canelo Alvarez didn't hold back at the press conference. He basically called Terence Crawford overrated. Canelo claimed Crawford has never fought a real elite fighter and said that he would be the first true test of Crawford's career. But this wasn't just confidence. It looked like mind games. Canelo clearly wants to shake Crawford before the fight even starts. He's sending a bold message. There's a huge gap between a guy like him and someone still trying to prove he belongs at the top. Some fans saw it as confidence. Others say it's fear disguised as trash talk.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You mention me one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me. It's gonna be me.
I don't care about nobody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Same everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Max Kellerman didn't hold back. He says Crawford's jab is now one of the deadliest in boxing, and Canelo just can't match it anymore. According to Kellerman, Canelo used to have a strong jab, but it's not what it was. Meanwhile, Crawford's speed and accuracy are on another level. He also pointed out that Crawford fights with brain power, while Canelo mostly counts on size and brute strength. It's a bold take that flips the script. Kellerman is basically saying skill might crush power in this fight, and Canelo could be exposed if he can't keep up mentally.
Best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Nico Ali, grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali, just backed Terence Crawford. And it's raising eyebrows. Nico didn't just praise Crawford's skills. He said Crawford has the heart, discipline, and greatness to be mentioned with the all-time legends. Coming from Ali's bloodline, that's no small compliment. This bold endorsement is shaking things up in the boxing world. Some fans are calling it a slap in the face to Canelo, while others see it as proof that Crawford's legacy is already echoing through boxing history.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Canelo Alvarez finally gave Terence Crawford some respect, but also made a risky claim. He said that at the highest level, weight doesn't really matter, that real fighters can adapt. Critics were quick to jump on that, saying Canelo might be downplaying the massive size gap between them. Still, Canelo promised he's training harder than ever and knows Crawford's no walk in the park. But some fans think Canelo's words reveal nerves, because this time, power alone might not save him.
Smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
If you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything.
Showbiz, the adult, tried to stay neutral, but even his balanced take stirred debate. He gave Canelo props for his raw strength and brutal training, saying that's what makes him such a dominant force. But he also warned that Crawford's wrestling roots make him smarter in the ring, able to read moves and shut down tricks other fighters fall for. Still, Showbiz leaned toward Canelo, saying his size and experience might give him the edge. Some fans called it fair analysis. Others say it's just another way of doubting Crawford's greatness before the bell even rings.
And Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage, and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below. We in the zone, war room.
This fight isn't just about belts, it's about legacy. Canelo brings power and experience. Crawford brings brains and hunger. With legends divided and tensions rising, one thing's clear. Only one man will leave with his name untouchable, and the other might never live it down. Backhand index pointing right, don't miss a single update. Subscribe now for more shocking boxing news, reactions, and breakdowns.